Hello, welcome to Tuesday the 15th of July. We're anchored just off Big Woody Island. We're in about 6 metres of water, got about 40 metres of chain out. Beautiful little island to anchor off, protected from the northerlies and the nor'westers, which we had a little bit of last night. We had to bypass Kingfisher Bay. It was just too windy over there, so we just came here instead, seeking a little bit of refuge. So today we're going to do a 12 nautical mile journey. We are off to Hervey Bay. The interesting thing with Hervey Bay is it's just over there, but we've got a massive big sandbar in between over there and where we are now. So it's going to take about 12 nautical miles. We have to go up around the sandbar to get there. We've just departed Big Woody Island, which is just to the point of there. We are headed north and then around to the west and south into Hervey Bay. Up there is the top end of Fraser Island. I just can't believe how big this sand island is. Little Woody Island, all the way down Fraser Island in the background. World's biggest sand island. It just goes on for miles and miles, all the way down the Great Sandy Strait. What a beautiful part of the world.
Here's Kim at the helm, driving us to Hervey Bay.
So we're on a heading of 322 degrees. We're in 19 metres of water. Our speed over ground is 5 knots. The water temp is slowly warming up, 18.3. We've got 3.5 knots of wind right at our nose, and we will be there in about 2 hours.
We're heading north. Here's a starboard hand marker, which we're passing on the right hand side because we are still going downstream, which means we're going towards the sea. So you've got to get your head around all that, otherwise you'll go on the wrong side of the mark and run aground. So it can get a bit confusing around the Great Sandy Straits, because they tend to basically keep the same orientation. So all of our trip north, basically all the marks have been indicating going downstream.
There's a sailing boat heading to Hervey Bay that's found a bit of wind. We're still on the motor. Scanning over, you've got beautiful little round island over there, and there's a little catamaran anchored off that island. Then all the way back to Big Woody Island. We were anchored off the, what would it be, the southeastern side of that island last night. And we've ended up coming into the marina at Hervey Bay and berthed in here. It's just a little bit too windy and tide affected outside the marina, and we're just a bit concerned about the depths out there as well. So when in doubt, come into a marina. So I've come into the saloon of the boat, and Whitworth's is all out of its box. Stored over here. Greg's down here at the back of the motor. What is going on back there?
So I've had this little leak, a freshwater leak, which has been occurring just the last couple of days, and it turns out it's coming from the hot water system, which is what this box is. So, anyway,
See the leaking.
yeah, I'll just leak. No, I've got the drain hose.
Okay.
I'm just emptying the rest of the water out of it.
Yep.
So, yeah, so it's got to be fixed. And the way the hot water system works is it scavenges heat from the engine by these two glycol hoses which come from the water pump. So you have hot engine water going in here, and then it returns out here. And so that heat from the engine, which is around about 80 to 90 degrees centigrade, that'll heat the water up in the tank as you're going along. It's also got an electric heater in it too, so that when you're plugged into the marina, it heats up electrically, which is really, really good. But it's got an aluminium tank in there. So what I've got to do is undo the covers here, and to do that I've had to completely disconnect it, obviously, because I've got to move it over this way to get to these.
Yeah, you're working in a
screws.
pretty confined space there.
It's like building a ship in a bottle in some ways.
Yep.
So anyway, I've got to take these covers off. There'll be a whole heap of insulation in here to keep the heat in, so I'll have to remove the insulation and put it into a plastic bag. And then these covers will come out. I'll get access to the aluminium tank, and because it's leaking under pressure. So what that means is when it heats up, it's leaking out of the hole under pressure, but not normally, and that's a little bit of a bugger. So if the hole's not obvious, there's a crack in the weld or whatever, I'm going to have to fill the tank up full of fresh water, connect it back up to the plumbing, obviously, to do that, and connect it up to the electricity supply and heat it up to temp, and then have a look at the tank without all the box insulation on it, obviously, and see if I can see the leak, and then I'll have to mark it, and then I'll have to take it to a welding shop and get welded up. It's a little bit complicated. A lot of people are probably thinking, why don't you just replace the whole thing with a new heater? Well, I'd like to do that, but the problem is the element in this is 110 volts because it's an American boat. So the 240 coming into the boat is transformed down to 110. So unless I can get a heater with an 110 volt element, it's going to make it complicated.
Rightio, so we're off to the States.
Yeah, in the boat. I could get a 240 volt marine heater and fit it, and I probably could just wire the 240 via a breaker straight from the shore power outlet. That would work. I'd bypass the 110 volt transformer and just have it come in directly. And I could do that with put a little circuit breaker panel up here. 240 coming in from the shore power outlet going into the tank, and a bit of conduit. I could do that, but if it's just for the sake of a little crack that can be welded up, so be it. Because that would save a lot of money. But anyway, I've got to get it all apart, and I'm going to start out, because this box is 400 by 400 as it is. It will not come through the door. It won't go out the back. It's actually got to be pulled apart and come out.
Yeah, and just to give everyone an idea, not only is that the confined space, but this is the other side of Greg working in this confined space as well.
Yeah, it's like this is about the same as the hatches in the mini submarines that attacked Sydney Harbour.
Here's the fog rolling into Hervey Bay Marina. So while Greg's fixing our water tank, I'm going to go to the fresh food markets at the pier and stock up on some fresh produce. The markets of Pier Street, some really fabulous stuff. I've just come back from shopping for fresh produce, and Greg's got an update on the hot water tank.
So I blocked off the in and the out, like cold water in, hot water out, and I've connected the hose to the drain port. So I've pressurised it with mains, and I can't see any leaks in here anywhere.
So what's the next steps?
Next step will be to put it back in the boat, run water into it, and connect the heater up. That'll be the next step.
See if it leaks in situ in the boat.
Yeah, then I'll be able to see it. So I can't see anything immediately because it would stain the concrete with water.
Yeah. How much water have you pumped through it?
Oh, it's full. It's the water.
Okay.
Up to here.
And what's the capacity? Would that
50
be
litres.
50 litres? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the easy fix, or the easy option hasn't really worked. So going to plan B.
Yeah. So I have to get the insulation box out of the way and connect it back up. Leaking out of here.
All right, the
Out of
leak has
there.
been found by Greg. Just pointed exactly.
Pretty sure it's there, so it's probably leaking out of a weld. Yeah, well, I brushed it, so it had corroded all the way through.
We have a fine spray heading out of the water tank. Okay, we now have a full-scale leaking water tank. There's no disputing where that leak is coming from. So the leaking hot water tank has now gone off to be repaired with the welder. Greg's waiting at home for a phone call to go pick it up. I figured out I'm best off just getting out of the way and heading for a bit of a walk up the beach and a swim. Here's that amazing pier again. So I'm going to walk past that and then up to Torquay and have a swim in front of the surf club. Enjoy the trip. A very Australian theme here. Hervey Bay Surf Club, protecting the beach, tower, and then the campground right on prime property at Hervey Bay. How awesome is that? That's preserved for campers. It's one of the good things about being in a marina. When we can't drive up alongside and get diesel, we go get their trolley and we load up our jerry cans with diesel. So sometimes you see some really big boats. This is one of them. This catamaran, it's probably got a beam of about, 8-9 meters.